My one true desire is to be like those people. Well, not all the negative aspects, of course. I mean, the powerful emotions they experience. They cry intensely, they laugh heartily, and sometimes they do both at the same time. It's painful for them to give birth, oddly enough, because of their curved pelvises. And honestly, the idea that they could eat species like mine if they wanted to, that's revolting. Still, I really admire the positive traits in humans, their strength, imagination, and bravery. Honestly, if I had the chance to become human, I wouldn't mind taking the bad with the good. It seems like a fair exchange to me. Anyway, let me tell you about the first human I ever encountered. Someone who ended up becoming one of my dearest friends. My family and I live on Zoria, a planet widely recognized as the oldest sentient world in the galaxy, something the Zorans never let us forget. Zythor, our capital, is a diverse hub of intelligent life forms and also the seat of the Galactic Sentient Assembly. I'm originally from the planet Exia, and my people have been allies of the Zorians for thousands of years. My parents were mid-level bureaucrats, both employed as administrative clerks for the Assembly. They had identical jobs, matching personalities, equally dull social circles. Everything about them felt monotonous. From my point of view, their lives were incredibly uninspiring. I was around 16 standard years old, the equivalent of adolescence for our kind, the Flaxians. And I was absolutely fed up. School bored me. Life bored me. Everything bored me. I felt like I was trapped in the dull life of a peaceful, plant-based prey species. I needed something, anything, exciting to happen. And then, it did. A new student transferred to our school. His name was Eris, and he was human. The news spread like wildfire. A special meeting was called. Parents were notified and even invited to share their concerns or objections. This wasn't just a regular admission. A predator was coming to our school. The grown-ups were terrified. The students, we were thrilled. We were going to have a real human at school. Amazing. Then I found out I was going to be his buddy. My parents nearly lost control of their bodily fluids. But eventually, they calmed down when I explained that I'd have a Zorian guard with me at all times until Eris was deemed non-threatening. You can never be too cautious around their kind. At least, that's what the school administrators thought. Now, I should explain that my school was unusual. It was a stellar academy, basically an elite interspecies boarding school reserved for the children of ambassadors and noble families. My own family wasn't exactly royalty, but my father's superior pulled some strings and got me in. Most of the students there are snobbish and cliquish, not really my type, but on the bright side, Principal Varan loved me. He appreciated having at least one normal student around. I'll never forget Eris's first day, ever. I arrived at 11 a.m., ahead of the 11:30 start. I've since learned that's considered very late for humans. But for us plant-based species, it's ideal. The sun has been up for a few hours, and we're fully energized thanks to good old photosynthesis. His transport pod arrived at 11:15. I stood with Principal Varan, waiting to greet him. The other students were already in class, thankfully. Otherwise, the front steps would have turned into a rubbernecking disaster. He stepped out of the van alone. No parents, no escorts, nothing. He walked out like he had already belonged there for years. I'd seen humans from a distance before and heard my parents talk about them. They worked with some, but I'd never seen one this close. His skin was smooth and pale. He flashed a big smile full of horrifying teeth as he approached me. Then he saw my face and quickly closed his mouth, clearly realizing he was scaring me, which, frankly, he was. "Hello," Eris said. "Greetings," Principal Varan responded. "Nice to be here, sir," Eris replied, doing his best to keep those awful teeth hidden. "This is your study partner, Kellen. He'll guide you and help you get used to how things work here," Varan explained. "Thank you," Eris said, turning to me. "Nice to meet you, Kellen." We Floraxians, as I mentioned earlier, are a plant-based species. Genetically, we're quite similar to Terran bamboo. That means I'm tall, flexible, and surprisingly durable. When Eris looked up at me, because yes, I'm 9 feet tall, he looked visibly surprised. I let him admire my stature for a moment, then casually said, "Well, you're awfully short and strange looking, even for a human." Huge mistake. He burst out laughing like a malfunctioning pipe system. He slapped his legs, bent over, arms flailing. Principal Varan panicked and ran inside. The Zorian guard froze, unsure how to respond. I just stared at Eris, especially his limbs, and it suddenly hit me. This species could destroy us effortlessly if they wanted to. Humans have muscles. They've got dense, nearly indestructible bones. They're heavy, strong, and terrifying. With sharp teeth and the ability to digest both plants and meat, they're omnivorous predators. They can think fast, react faster, and fight with anything, or nothing at all. But I didn't move. I forced myself to smile, the best fake smile a Floraxian can manage, and waited for him to calm down. "Good one, man," he said, giving me a solid pat on the back. I nearly crumpled from the impact, but I managed to stay upright. "Have you been on Zoria long?" he asked. I wanted him to know he needed to dial it down a bit before he completely freaked everyone out. "No," he said, answering his own question. "I just arrived 2 days ago. This is my first real stellar academy." "Are you Flaxian?" "Almost. Yeah, I'm Flaxian." "Cool," Eris said, looking around. "Where's the principal?" Just then, Principal Varen reemerged, holding a massive book in front of his chest like a shield. "He's actually using it for protection," I thought, stifling a laugh. "Come in, boys," Varan said, his voice a little shaky. "Class is about to begin." "All right," Eris replied. "Lead the way, Kellen." We started walking up the steps. I pushed open one of the double doors. Eris pushed the other and sent it flying off its hinges. The door flew off its hinges and landed nearly 6 feet down the corridor. "Crap," Eris muttered. "I'm so sorry, sir." Principal Varian had disappeared once more, and the security guard had vanished too. Now it was just Eris and me, facing the universe alone. Please let the school still be standing by the end of the day, I thought, trying not to panic. I decided to be brave. "Okay, man, we need to have a real conversation here." "Yeah," Eris agreed. "It's kinda weird how he keeps running off." "Well, Eris, the truth is you're terrifying." "What?" he asked, clearly surprised. "You're human," I said matter-of-factly. "No way," he replied sarcastically. "Look, all of us here, every single species, we're prey species. Most of us are terrified of you. You can grab us with your bare hands. You can outrun us, jump higher, turn anything into a weapon, and even swim. Some of us can't do that. And well, technically, you could eat us." That last comment hit hard. Eris's expression darkened, and he looked away. "Yeah, well, me and my family, we're not like that. You have to take the time to understand us. We just want a fair chance," he said quietly. "I know, dude. That's why they allowed you here. But back there, when you patted me on the back, you nearly snapped me in half." Eris looked horrified. I'm really sorry, man. My parents did warn me that we're stronger than most, and that others might be scared of us, but it didn't fully hit me until I broke that door just now." "It's okay," I told him. "You'll get the hang of it, and so will we. But you've got to slow it down a bit. I'll help you." "Thanks," he said. "Cool," I replied. "Let's head to class. Astrophysics is up first, and we've only got 5 minutes." The first class went all right. Everyone stared at him, and a few even scooted away, but Eris handled it well. No doubt about it. He was no slacker. The second class was leadership and diplomacy. Not such a great experience. Eris went up to read something for the teacher, but as he walked, his hip accidentally knocked over a desk. The tiny Caprion seated there shrieked and stumbled backward on his tiny hooves. The Zorian instructor, Jar, yelled, "Watch it, you clumsy oaf!" Eris quickly apologized and slumped into his seat, hiding his face in his hands. Then came physical training, and things started to shift. We had to form pairs. Naturally, I ended up with Eris. I was his assigned buddy, but honestly, no one else would have volunteered anyway. Everyone wore species-specific athletic wear, but Eris's outfit was clearly too small. He emerged from the locker room with a shirt that barely covered half his torso and shorts that showed a lot of thigh. The class froze, disturbed and fascinated by the unexpected anatomy on display. Eris looked extremely uncomfortable, but tried to make the best of it. I actually felt bad for him. Our gym teacher, a Flaxian like me, 3 feet tall but incredibly strong, gave us our task: transport weights across the room as quickly as possible. Eris didn't hesitate. He lifted the entire weight bin in one go. We won. Then we had to climb a rope and scale a rock wall. Eris shot up and down the rope in 10 seconds, then tackled the wall like a spider. Flat, fluid, and fast. Another win. Next, he hurled a medicine ball so far that it ricocheted off the wall and nearly hit the same Caprion again. During the reflex test, Eris caught every ball the machine launched. One even required a 6-foot leap. He landed hard, hit his head, and acted like nothing happened. And he did all of this with barely any clothing, his muscular human frame fully visible to the stunned class. It was terrifying and awesome. At the end of the session, our teacher stared at him in complete disbelief. "How old are you, Eris?" she asked. "I'm 16, he answered. "When do human males reach maturity?" Around 25, maybe?" Her jaw dropped. "You mean you're still getting stronger and faster?" "Yeah," he said, shrugging. "Also, I'm starving. Isn't it lunchtime?" We walked slowly to the cafeteria after changing clothes. Eris was back in his usual outfit and clearly more at ease. We sat down among a diverse crowd of students from all across the galaxy. I pulled out my lunch, a sugary nutrient shake, which is standard for my kind. Eris pulled out his lunch, a steak sandwich. The smell hit the room instantly. Every prey species there instantly reacted. It's difficult to explain to a predator species, but for us, the smell of cooked meat is nauseating and mesmerizing in a horrible way. It hits us right in the gut, or in our xylem and phloem, as the case may be. Several students ran for the exit. Some just inched away. One dropped his tray, others screamed. Yar literally wet himself. Eris sat there, frozen, mid-bite. The sandwich dangled in his hand. "Dude," I hissed, "you cannot eat that here." He was drooling. Yes, literally drooling. And his eyes were locked on the sandwich. Then, as if snapped out of a trance, he wrapped it up, sprinted toward the door, and broke that door too. I found him 10 minutes later, sitting alone on the school's front steps. He was holding his communicator, and his cheeks were streaked with tears. He wiped his face and looked up at me. "Kellen," he said, "I don't think I belong here." "Eris," I said gently, "it's your first day at a new school. You're the only human here." "That's hard. When I started here, I was the only Flaxian. A Zorian pushed me once, and because I'm so tall, I hit my head on the doorframe." "Yeah, but you're a prey species. I'm something else entirely." "I know, man, but you being here, it matters. You're smart, you're ridiculously strong and fast. You're funny. Just tone down the knee slapping, okay?" He managed a weak smile. His scary teeth sparkled in the sunlight, but they didn't seem quite so frightening anymore. "We've got to get used to you, Eris. You can't run from this. No matter where you go in the galaxy, we're going to be there, and we can't run from you either. Not that we could. We'd never outrun you. You'd catch us, and probably eat us." He burst out laughing, and this time, I laughed with him.